What up, everybody? Welcome to Music Blueprint. My name is Gina Fontanella, one of the co-founders of Music Blueprint, and today I have on my cousin, Elena.
Hi, guys.
And the reason why I brought her on is because she is a typical consumer of music, to be specific. She is a teenager. She's 17 years old, and as most of you guys know, we are always trying to hit the 17-year-old market. 13 to 18 is like the prime for all musicians. And so I thought it would be interesting to get her on and see what is she even interested in right now. And to make sure, like, hey, are you guys tapped into what she's interested in? Because if you're trying to make money and you're trying to do this whole music thing as a career, you need to know how to tend to your audience. And so she is a perfect example of this. Although she is into a very specific genre of music, which we'll get into later, she is, I still think, a very, very good example of a person's brain that we should pick. So why don't you say a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Elena. I am 17 years old, and I am in high school still. Trying to pass, but...
trying to graduate, Lord willing, which is why she's over at my house.
Yep. I don't know really much to say.
Yeah, super into TikTok.
Yep.
Very into Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into all that. Right now we have our, as you guys can see, I have like a little bit of a different studio set up right now because all of my videographers are out of town. So we have it set up with a singular camera, which actually I kind of like. I might do this more often. I think it's kind of cool, has a cool background and everything like that. But why don't you talk about first what kind of music you're into, and then I'll ask some questions as to why.
I'm probably more towards like R&B and rap. Mm-hmm. Mainly those are my go-to.
And why is that?
Some of the artists that I listen to have like I could relate to some of them because some of them are like really.
She's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot up your block, yo.
But
she's like, I relate to that. I'm like,
wait, what? Probably my favorite artist right now is probably Rod Wave, and he is dropping his album.
Well, see, and she even knows he's dropping his album.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so you say you can relate to their lyrics. Now, what are the lyrics that you can relate to? Like, is it because, like, what are the specific things that they're talking about that you're like, oh man, yeah, like I really relate to that, or like I really whatever?
Probably heartbreak. I just recently got broken up with.
No shade, but shout out. I'm not gonna name his name, but we don't like you no more.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay, so heartbreak. So we always know as musicians that most of the music out there is about, it's love songs, right? Mm-hmm. Love songs are really important. But with this generation, and just think about when you were this age, what was the main thing that was on your mind? It was like, I just want to date somebody, right? Like, I'm just trying to date somebody, and then you date somebody, and then they suck, and then you're all upset because you have so many emotions, and you're so hormonal, and blah, 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 and all these different things. So I think it's really important to keep in mind that you as a songwriter or as a musician or anything, that this is a very moody period of time. And so if you want to tap in to this era of our age group, are you Gen Z?
Yeah,
you're Gen Z. If you want to tap into the Gen Z group, they want to be in their feels
all the time.
Promise you. All the time. This is Billie Eilish has made a career off of this, right? Billie Eilish is, I don't even think she's ever not in her feels. Okay, so she lives in that time, and like she, even somebody that's probably more into like R&B and hip hop, you still like Billie Eilish, right? Mm-hmm. So it crosses over into different lanes. But again, like, keep that in mind when you're writing. Like, vulnerability is the key. And we've all had sucky relationships, and we've had good ones and bad ones and somewhere in between. And writing about those things in a very like raw and honest way is super, super important because it does tap into this age group. And it kind of hits every age group, but I feel like as we get older and you get into relationships, like you're married and have kids or whatever the situation is, you don't really remember as well when you were a kid, and you don't remember like the heartbreak as well because time has passed, right? You shouldn't remember it that well anyways, but they're currently going through the memories like straight up right now. And so if you want to tap in, again, I've said tap into like multiple times now. If you're trying to get into that money wave of this generation, they want to feel something. And they're the generation that grew up with like, oh, like your emotions are validated and all these different, like my generation did not grow up with that. My mom was like, oh, you're sad? Well, can't be sad today. Like, you know, and now my mom's like, oh, you know, you have to validate your emotions. I'm like, where was this like 15 years ago when I was like 13 years old or whatever? So this whole generation has grown up in that, and they're looking for that in their music as well. So, okay, so we've talked about your music. We've talked about the music that you're into and stuff like that. We've given some key points, some key takeaways. But what are some other things that you're into, and like maybe even that your friends are into right now, like even if it might be like video games or certain apps or whatever?
Well, all you guys know is TikTok.
It's the rage.
Yep. I play Fortnite, and most people are on Fortnite, but most of them are on COD, which is Call of Duty, which is the everyday thing for boys.
I suck at COD. I mean, I am so bad. I get so stressed out. I'm like, what? So much shooting.
I know. For me, I think it's so, like, well, COD, I feel like it's really real. Yeah. And, like, I get, like, sweaty, and I be like,
I'm like
people yell at me, and I'm like, stop.
The zombie one had me effed up one time. Like, somebody was like, oh, yeah, we'll just put you on the zombie mode because then you can practice shooting things. Bro, they were coming at me left and right. I was like, get me out of this game. It was it's so crazy. Bad. It had me messed up for weeks. I was having nightmares for so long. Oh, man. Okay, so COD, Call of Duty. What are some things, like, in the game, one that makes it cool? Like, for instance, like every time there's an update, there's new things in the game, right? So what are some of those things that keep you going back to the game rather than like, oh, I've played this game, it's the same every time I play it. You know what I mean?
Probably like upgrades, like with guns or skins is like an everyday thing for every game. So that's a big one. And yeah, that's probably it.
So one of the really important things that I want to bring up is she mentioned skins and different like items that you can have like tailored to your character, tailored to the game or whatever. And a lot of them you pay for. Sometimes they're free if you can download them for free or whatever. But there's a big thing going around right now called Nfts, which are non-fungible tokens. And I've just started doing some research on it. I wish I did research on it way earlier, but I still feel like I'm on the early part of the wave. But that refers to what she's talking about, even though she doesn't really know that that's what she's talking about. There's a lot of things that you can buy within a game, and what other gamers, like, you know, the e-game whole community is coming up with is they're now creating these non-fungible tokens where people can buy, let's say, for instance, Ninja, he's a very popular gamer, right? Ninja can come out and say, here is my original skin. I've only created 5 of them. Whoever buy them at this price, and then that stays the original for the game for forever until somebody else decides to sell it. Well, the beauty of that is that with NFTs, they can't be copied because it's crypto. So there's no way to copy any of these skins, any of the things that people are creating within NFTs. Now, within the game of just a general skin, yeah, people can copy them and people can do whatever. But in terms of the crypto wave, these gamers are coming up and creating specific items for their game that this whole generation is buying. So it's basically going back to the idea and the concept of baseball cards. Baseball cards were really big. For our generation, it was Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards were huge. Now Pokemon cards are coming back again. But it's all starting to come up and rebubble up because NFTs are becoming a thing. And so it's the online version of like a baseball card. So people are selling them and they're selling them, buying them, whatever. Just like we would with baseball cards. I would sell my Charizard card and then I would get like 3 cards and like $30, or I would, you know what I mean? And I would play this whole thing. It's the same thing with NFTs. So it's a really important thing as musicians to start thinking about how can I get involved in this. The music industry side hasn't been fully tapped into. I know like Steve Aoki and these other artists are really creating crypto albums and all of these things where you can get a one-of-a-kind album, and there's only 1,000 of them. So imagine somebody releases an album, and he's like, there's only 1,000 of them for this price. It's crazy. Same thing for her games. It's like, what if you had a skin from your favorite gamer, and you were the only one that had it? Exactly. She didn't even know the magnitude of it either, and she's like, wait, hold on, like, that's low-key kind of crazy. Like, what if Cardi B came out with a skin for Fortnite and was like, I'm only making one of these. So then every time you play someone in a game and you see the Cardi B skin, you're like, dang, they have the only Cardi B skin? It gets kind of crazy. And this is very surface level what I'm talking about. Again, I am not well-versed enough in this to fully give ideas and stuff like that, but it's definitely something to think about. And her generation is really, really into it. I mean, obviously, if you were born in the 90s, we were super into video games. We were the start of that video game kind of thing. But e-gaming has gone to a whole other level in the last 10 years. It used to be like nerdy if you played video games. Now it's not. It's like totally normal and a part of your culture, right? Mm-hmm. Like, do you know anybody who doesn't play any video games?
Not really.
That's what I'm saying. It's totally a normal thing. It's not like when we were kids, when we were like, oh, well, if you played video games, you were like nerdy and you were in your basement playing Dungeons and Dragons. And like, it's not like that anymore. So we have to be, as musicians, very on top of what is coming up. Because if you stay where you are, the problem is then you're not going to be able to make money for forever. And then a lot of times with us musicians, we don't have a retirement. So then what are we going to do? So you got to be really ahead of the time and ahead of the curve on what's happening. And the people that typically determine that is this generation. These people of what they're into. They're into TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, please, God, I don't know how many times I've talked about TikTok. For the love of God, get on TikTok. I don't care what age you are. There's literally grandmas on TikTok, and they do so well.
Yeah.
They do so good. There's a grandma on TikTok that I just saw, and she's like really into Nerf guns. Have you seen that one? It's so great. It's very entertaining, and it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. TikTok is literally does not discriminate when it comes to like what goes viral, unless it's conservative media. But other than that, it doesn't really discriminate on age, race, any of those things. It's like, if it's good content, it's good content, and it's gonna, well, sometimes it doesn't go viral even if it's good content, but the most random things go viral. And it's literally like, if you bought real estate in Manhattan like 200 years ago and you kept it, imagine how much money that piece of property would be worth. It's the same thing with TikTok. Like, you need to get on TikTok now and really start working the system, to say the least. So, okay, so name some other things that you are into.
Like games?
Mm-hmm. Anything. It could be games. It could be like, maybe like, is there an app that you just downloaded recently that all of your friends are on as well?
Not really.
Because, like, for instance, I remember, I don't know, this is probably a couple years ago, like, you and Michaela had Musical.ly, but a lot of people didn't have Musical.ly. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Is there something like that that's coming up right now? Like, even Among Us. Among Us is still kind of popular.
Mm-hmm. I think Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
Probably, because
yeah,
Kay
Minecraft
plays it a lot, and people are like getting into it again, and it's kind of crazy because once you like back in the days when I used to play Minecraft, people thought it was weird. It
Really?
was
So
like a weird
that was what
thing.
nerds were.
Yeah.
It's like Minecraft.
Like, oh, you play Minecraft? Like, I was like, yeah, like it's fun. And now it's like it actually costs money to get the app.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $8.
$8?
Like $7.99 or something.
Wow.
And people make a living off of it if you
Yeah.
see like the videos on YouTube. I don't really know the names, but like I don't know.
That's what her sister's trying to do too. It's like you create from my understanding, my basic understanding of Minecraft is like you create your own world, basically, universe, and then people, if they have like a code or something, can go into that universe and then they can do like whatever they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like in her universe, there's like hotels, there's like gardens, like people have built a whole freaking city.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is this? Like, I kind of want to live in this city in real life. Like hospitals, like they've created all this stuff. And so I guess depending on how cool your universe is, people will pay to get the code. I guess. How does it work?
And like I don't know, it depends kind of like for like obviously like people who make a living off of it, obviously like do that and like sell their world sometimes. Yeah. I'm not really sure, but there's also like servers you could go in and it's free.
Okay.
But you could get different mods. Like that makes sense.
What's mod? What does mod mean?
It means like a different feature.
Oh, okay.
For
like
the
a modification.
Yeah.
Okay.
People just call it mods.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for those.
Okay.
And like to get like up like really good, like the famous people, you need a PC, which everybody wants now, and especially for gaming in general. PC it's like OP basically.
Yeah, I will agree, like PCs are definitely better for the gaming world for sure. Like I mean, I know all of us are Apple lovers. I'm an Apple lover. Like I'm literally doing all of this on an Apple computer right now as we speak. I have an iPhone. I even have my old Apple computer right next to me. Like it's I love Apple, but when it comes to gaming, the PC supposedly, I still game on my Apple, but supposedly the PC is coming back. It's coming back. Okay. So now they create these different worlds and everything. Now what is in these worlds? Like is there music in them? Like what
I don't it depends like on
like if would there be an opportunity for somebody, let's say like a musician like me, right? Let's say I meet, I don't know, some famous person that does Minecraft and I was like, "Hey, I'll pay you $100 to put my song in your world." Is that a thing? Is that even something that's possible?
No.
No.
It's like I don't know how to like it's like music without the words.
Oh, okay, so just it's only instrumentals.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're into instrumentals, you would have to go that route. There's not anything with like, let's say Cardi B releases a song. It's never in a Minecraft thing. No. Okay, got you. Okay, so instrumental people, sync people, there's your lane for that. Get your instrumentals into Minecraft. I wish I could research. I'm gonna try to research it and look up like what does Minecraft pay for your instrumental. Like that would be very interesting. But again, you know how it goes. As musicians, we're trying to find multiple avenues of revenue, and this is a possible another revenue stream, especially if you're into gaming and you're into that one. Then you're like, cool, I'm into gaming, and also I'm into music. How can I connect these two things together, first and foremost? Second is, even if you're not into gaming and you're just like, I'm just into instrumentals, this is still an opportunity for me to make some money and have it be a revenue stream. So I think it's really important. All right, guys. Well, that is Music Blueprint. I almost said living like a G. I'm getting my podcast mixed up. But that is Music Blueprint. Elena, thank you so much for coming on. But seriously, guys, I'm not joking. Like, I have learned so much from her and her sister, one. And I know you guys have seen that I hang out a lot with like Lauren Spencer Smith and like Natalie Jane and all these people. They're all these young little influencers and people that are really into all the things that are happening right now. And it has really kept me on my toes and really opened up opportunities for me to make money as a musician. And I know sometimes we think, oh, well, that person's so young, they don't know anything. And to a certain extent, they don't. But no offense. But what they do know is they understand trends and they understand where the next trend is coming. And I think it's really important for people like us, musicians, or even people that are, older than them, I'm a decade older than her. It's good to have people like them around, because then you're constantly staying on top of the trend and constantly staying on top of what is happening next and how can I capitalize on it before it explodes. So try to do some takeaways. I swear to God, if you guys aren't on TikTok yet, I am just gonna reach through this camera. So get on TikTok. Try to check out some games. I'm really into TFT right now, Team Fight Tactics. That's a game I'm really into. Kind of into Among Us. It's really fun, even though I suck at it because people don't like honesty, and I'm always trying to be honest. And but yeah, really get into these games and let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you like this video, please click the like button and click subscribe. All right, see you next week. Peace.